Welcome to yet another video of Acharya Nidana Academy. In this particular video, we are going to discuss the concept of Utpadaka Hetu. So, when you say about Utpadaka Hetu, it is nothing but one type of the Hetu or Nidana, wherein the dosha are going to get vitiated by the abnormal excessive intake of certain types of the rasa. Before going into that, we need to know about why we need to know about these different types of nidana. The first and foremost thing, to know the exact pathology actually occurring inside the human body. Suppose if the person is consuming shita rasa ahara, so that means he's going to take the substances through open mouth, right? So in that particular sense, the first and foremost thing that is going to get afflicted will be alimentary canal. The two, initially the person may have the affliction in relation to mouth and later that will be followed by the stomach. If the person is consuming or the inhaling Shita Guna Yukta Vata or air, the first and foremost affliction that will be related to the respiratory system. Suppose if the particular Shita Vata that is going to get come in contact with the skin, the first and foremost affliction that will be related to the what do you say that circulatory system. So like that, to know the exact pathology actually occurring inside the human body, that can be very well identified by the exposure of the nidana in the human body to predict the prognosis of the disease process. In the sense we have discussed about, if the shita guna is going to get exposed to the alimentary canal, to the respiratory system, to the circulatory system, so that means the person may have the somewhat severe form of the disease manifestation when you look into the Shitaguna exposure only to the alimentary canal or Shitaguna exposure only to the respiratory system. So like that, to predicting that, to make the prognosis of the disease process, predict its prognosis, it's very helpful. To plan the line of treatment. What do you mean by line of treatment? Ayurveda says asanna marga harana. So that means the elimination of vitiated dosha through the nearest route is the ideal line of treatment. Suppose if the pathogens are being present in the intracellular compartment, in the sense that has to be brought into interstitial compartment first, then that has to be brought into the intravascular compartment, then that has to be brought into the alimentary canal. From there, it has to be eliminated via oral route in the form of vamana or through the anal route in the form of either virechana or basti. Or if the pathogens are present in the interstitial compartment, that has to be brought into the intravascular compartment. From there, that has to be brought in the alimentary canal. Then that has to be eliminated either through the oral route or anal route. Or if the pathogens are being present in the intravascular compartment, that has to be brought into the what do you say the alimentary canal, then that has to be eliminated via oral route or anal route. In this way, to plan the line of treatment, we need to know about the exact the nidana as such. Suppose if the person is having the cut wound, naturally the affliction will be either it has to be afflicted related to either intracellular compartment or interstitial compartment. Suppose if the cut wound that is actually afflicting the major veins or arteries, then we can even able to say the intravascular compartment affliction can also be predicted. So in this way, the planning the line of treatment, we need to know about the exact the nidana exposure there to predict the progress of the treatment. How far the person is able to showing the improvement in the presenting complaints, whether it may be 10% or 20%, sometimes 50 or 60% improvement. By that, we can able to predict the progress of the treatment. In a sense, let me give you an example. If the person is having the cough with yellowish colored sputum, so it means the person is having the somewhat severe form of the clinical manifestation. When you think about the sputum coloration or discoloration. Initially, it will be watery color, then that will be associated with yellowish color, that will be the whitish color, then yellowish color, then either greenish color or so, and sometimes even it may be mixed with blood. It is reddish color. That means it is indicating the severity of the disease as such. Whereas the reversal of the severity, initially it may be either the reddish color, then greenish or yellowish color, then whitish color, then watery color, then absence of sputum. This is how the progress of the treatment that can be predicted by knowing about the exact nidana. So regarding the Madhukosha commentary, gives the various descriptions of the nidana. 4 types of the nidana: Sannikrishna nidana, Viprakrishna nidana, Vibhichari and Pradhanika hetu. 3 types of the nidana: Asatmindriyartha sanyoga, Prajnaparadha, Parinama. 3 types of the nidana: Dosha Hetu, Vyadhi Hetu, Ubhaya Hetu. 2 types of the nidana: Utpadaka Hetu and Vyanjaka Hetu. 2 types of the nidana: Bakhya Hetu and Abhyantara Hetu. 3 types of the Abhyantara Hetu: Urdhva, Adha, Tiryakati. 3 types of the nidana, that is Shaka, Koshtha and Marmastha Sandhigati. 3 types of the nidana: Prudhi, Sthana, Kshaya. 3 types of the nidana: Chaya, Prakopa and Prashama. 2 types: Prakrita and Vaikrita. 2 types: Sama and Nirama. And 1 type, that is Ashayapakarsha. Each of these are having or classified based on the specific utility. So we are going to learn about these different utilities as and when we are going to discuss those different types of the Nidana. Regarding the Utpadaka Hetu, so that is of 2 categories, Utpadaka Hetu and Vyanjaka Hetu. So these are actually made depending upon the nature of a clinical manifestation. So when you think about the exact examples given for the Utpadaka Hetu are, that is Madhura Adi Rasa. Whereas the textual example given for Dosha Hetu is also, what do you say, Madhura Adi Rasa. Now what is the difference between the two? So that is the depending upon the, what do you say, the clinical manifestation. So this as well as the Kriya Kala progression, that is progression of the pathogenesis in the Kriya Kala. So these Utpadaka Hetu and Dosha Hetu are being classified. Let us say, for example, in case of the Dosha Hetu, when you think about this is what we can say, first day or day 1, this is what we can say nth day. Nth day, when you think about it, Dosha Hetu are those which are actually responsible for the disease, that is Sanchaya, Prakopa, Prasara and Sthana Samshaya to occur. So, wherein the next phase will be related to Vyadhi Hetu. Whereas Utpadaka Hetu is nothing but what we can say that is mainly related to the manifestation of Lakshana. So, that based on that, that is being classified. So, the textual description for the Utpadaka and Vyanjaka Hetu are being mentioned. Sa eva Utpadaka Vyanjaka Vedat Chadvidha Tatrotpadako Yatha Hemantajog Madhura Rasaha Kafasya. Sa eva Utpadaka Vyanjaka Vedat Cha Dvidha Tatra Utpadako Yatha Hemantajo Madhura Rasaha Kafasya. If you split this, this will be the pronunciation. Regarding the examples, the textual example is Hemantajo Madhura Rasa. So, based on that, we can say the Vata Dosha Utpadaka Hetu, that could be Grishma Rutujanya Katurasa Sevana, Grishma Rutuja Tikta Rasa Sevana, Grishma Rutuja Kashaya Rasa Sevana. Whereas as far as Pitta Dosha is concerned, sorry, it is Varsha Rutuja. Varsha Rutuja Lavana, Varsha Rutuja Amla and Varsha Rutuja Lavana Rasa. Whereas as far as Kapha dosha is concerned, Hemanta Ritujanya Madhura Rasa or Hemantaja Amla Rasa or Hemantaja Lavana Rasa may be considered to be the one that may be necessary to say the examples for Utpadaka Hetu. The take-home message from today's discussion, it could be Utpadaka Hetu and Vyanjaka Hetu are the two types of the Hetu. Depending upon the nature of clinical features that are manifested in the individual, these are being classified. This is different from Dosha Hetu because the Dosha Hetu, they are actually mainly related with the progression of the disease processes in the 6 stages of Kriyakara. Whereas this is only related to the clinical manifestation of the disease as such. That's all for today. Dear ANA members, what are the major key takeaways from today's discussion? Mention below in the comment box. And what would you like to hear the discussion in the particular channel? Mention in the comment box below. And if you are liking this particular video, then spread this particular video to the maximum number of true Ayurveda learners so that we can make a huge movement out of this particular small message. That's all for today. Thank you.